Hello, my name is Ajibola Tajudeen, but you can call me Keeme, and you're watching Conversations with Keeme, a show where we ask stuff and we make stuff. Thank you for joining us here on our second season of Conversations with Keeme. Today's guest is a theater producer for Broadway that has produced shows such as Angels in America, which won a Tony for the best rival of a play, and she's a mother of three. And she also was produced in The Great Comet of 1812, which was nominated for 12 Tony Awards. And she's the co-founder of the InFineCompany.com and Custom Broadway. Ladies and gentlemen, Sue Gilad.
Speechless.
Yes. So did you ever picture that you would have the life that you have right now?
No, I think every kid, and I really was every kid, like, you see dancing and singing on stage and on screen, and my mom would always take me to Broadway. So I would be like, Mom, that's me. I'm going to be in Tap Dance Kid, which is really what I believed when I saw that show. That was going to be my show, even though I was inconveniently white, but it didn't matter. So that was the show I was going to get cast in. And so I grew up dancing, I grew up singing. I thought that was the way it was going to be. Well, all my friends were doing all sorts of theater stuff, and we were sort of going up, you know, in the business, Keeme. We would first do regional theater and then maybe a European tour. And then when I was doing an off-Broadway show, an agent saw me and said, oh, good, I need that voice to do voiceovers. And so when all my friends sort of started to make the shift to Broadway, I made the shift to voiceovers. And I did that for a long time. For TV and radio, and especially for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, I do their annual Broadway Backwards benefit. And voiceovers took me in a whole different direction, and I thought, geez, if there is a way that I can be back in the theater, but not doing 8 shows a week, because now I had those pesky children. And I wonder if while I'm here, if I can get my friends jobs. Yeah. Who's the person that gets people jobs? Well, casting directors choose them, but they choose out of the whole lot. Ooh, producers end up making the final decision. So that's what I do. As a producer, I cast my friends.
So what are some of your favorite voiceovers that you've done?
Oh, okay, you have to close your eyes, okay?
Okay. Oh, you're going to do it. You're going to do it? That was my next question.
Toads.
Okay.
I don't need an office, just a bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
That was for, I think, Snuggle. I never said the name of the product. I just was a teddy bear.
So what's the difference between a regular producer and a lead producer?
Oh, such a good question. So on Broadway, I have only been a co-producer. And what a co-producer does is it's really, it's almost, I would call it an apprenticeship. It's a chance to learn sitting at the table while the people who are the lead producers, who either they came up with the idea for the project or they were able to option it directly from the writers, and they're really shepherding the project. And then the co-producers, we get to sit at the table and go, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so that when we have the chance to lead produce our shows, we have an idea of what we should do. So I was able to sit at the tables on some great shows, and then now that we're lead producing
Tony Award winning shows.
Right. Well, this is just an honor and a privilege. I mean, Angels in America, I am old enough, child, that I saw the first Angels in America on Broadway.
Are you in audition rooms a lot?
You know, I was in the callbacks for the other Josh Cohen, and this was me behind the table, Keeme, right? I mean, I think they thought there was a really special woman sitting there, very enthusiastic, but it was really interesting, the audition for the other Josh Cohen. So all of the actors in the show are also accomplished musicians, and they are our band.
Wow.
So we had, someone came in, and she had a banjo around her shoulders, and she had a harmonica here, and then she had a little, what's the thing you put on your foot, and it's like
tambourine?
a tambourine on her foot? Yeah, and then we had a drum set up. So she was like, do you mind if I accompany myself? I was like, well, choose your instrument. She sang an entire song with all 4 instruments at the same time. I thought, okay, we're done with casting. You're going to play all the roles.
Wow.
Thank you so much. You know, so people came in and they were so unbelievably entertaining. They came in with their own instruments. They accompanied themselves. There was more talent in those, I think we had 3 days of auditions and callbacks than I had ever seen. I mean, I didn't even need to see the show after that. I was good.
Okay, so what are some of your favorite holiday traditions?
Oh gosh, I am such a big eater, so I will celebrate anything that involves food. So luckily for me, I grew up in this big Irish Catholic town, and the Girotanos lived next door, and Easter for them was every kind of chocolate you could ever imagine. So the only chocolate that I really knew growing up with was the Easter, they're really quite horrible, Peeps and milk chocolate in the foil that's not actually chocolate, it's plastic, I think. That's my favorite kind of food, so I try to work it into every holiday.
Wow.
Yeah, so if it's food, like Zoroaster's birthday, Ramadan I don't like because they don't eat the whole day. Other than that, I like everything.
So we're doing the NPT Holiday Show December 15th and 16th. Go get your ticket.
You and me?
Please.
You and me?
No, just me.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, it's a one-man show.
That's fun.
Yeah, but leading into that, I want to know, what is your favorite holiday?
Oh, my favorite holiday is Christmas.
Christmas.
I mean, it's a month full of merry, bright food feasts. There's nothing better.
What advice would you give out there to young leaders in the community?
I think you should start your own podcast interviewing people in the theater. Do you know anybody who should do that?
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
You know, that's what I tell my kids because my 9-year-old has decided that he's going to have his own YouTube channel.
Aww. Wow.
You guys are so fortunate that you can find your tribe anywhere. You know, I was a theater geek. I was so proud to be a theater geek, but I was such a nerd. And thank goodness there was a thing called a theater department in my high school. Otherwise, I would have just thought I was a freak. But now, you know what? I can find my other freaks on the internet. And it's kind of incredible how you can create community that way.
Well, let's show our work to the audience.
Okay, this is why I joined the performing arts, I need to tell you, okay? Performing because in 3rd grade, Mr. Powell said, Suzanne, Mr. Powell, my art teacher, said, Suzanne, so good you can dance.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on our first episode of our 2nd season of Conversations with Keeme. And I would like to say to you guys out there in the community, your voice is your power, so use it. Keeme out.
Conversations with Keeme is produced with support from the Department of Economic and Community Development, Connecticut Office of the Arts, which also receives support from the National Endowment for the Arts, a federal agency.